Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to episode 14 of What's New in CRM 2011. And today we're going to be looking at reports. Once again, I'm going to be using a web version of CRM 2011 to show you how to do reports. One assumption that reports makes is that if you're using the report wizard, you know how to use Advanced Find. And I'll show you that as we go through creating reports. So within Workplace, all I'm going to do is click on Reports, and within the Report section I'm just going to go ahead and click on New. Now there's three ways you can create a report in CRM. You can either create a report using the report wizard, you can create a report using the existing file. So in other words, you create a report using Business Intelligence Studio or some other external software, create the report and import it into CRM. And last but not least, a link to a web page. So as an example, if you have the report on the web somewhere, you can pull it directly into CRM. I'll give you an example with the link to web page. Let's just pretend that Bing is a report. Let's go ahead and call that Bing. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now if I was to run that report, all it will simply do is open up the Bing web page. Okay, so what we're going to do today though is we're going to look at creating a report using the report wizard. So I've just clicked on New again, and what I'm going to do is click on the report wizard button. Report wizard is extremely useful. It was available in CRM4 and again it's available in 2011, and what it basically does is it just guides you through how to create these reports. Waiting for that to go through. Shouldn't take that long. Let's give it a go again. Brilliant. Okay, so when you click on Report Wizard, the system always wants to know, do you want to start from a new report or do you want to start from an existing report? I'm going to go ahead and start from new and click next. By the way, if I was to start from an existing report, I would have the option to override the existing report or just use the existing report as a template. But we're going to start from a new report and click next. First thing the system wants to know is the report name. So let's just call this cases created in the last 6 months. So I want a report to look at cases created in the last 6 months. You can put in a report description here, so you can say exactly what this report's about. The primary record type is a must. Now, because we're doing this report on cases created in the last 6 months, I'm going to select cases. You'll notice we also have something here called related record types. Now this related record type drop down is based on the primary record type that you selected. So in other words, what the system is saying is, if you need to put information from a related record within the report, then you would select the related record here. For this example, I don't need that. I just want cases, so I'm going to select my primary record type as a case, and I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Once we've clicked next, the system wants to know what filter criteria is needed in order for a case to be part of this report. Now, I gave the example of cases created within the last 6 months. So for that reason, I'm going to first of all clear the reporting criteria, and I'm going to tell the system only show me cases created within the last 6 months. Now, when I started this training session, I did say that one assumption that CRM makes is that you know how to use Advanced Find. Why? Because this essentially is Advanced Find. This area of the system we're in at the moment. When you're putting criteria in for a report, it uses Advanced Find. So what I want to say is to look for reports created within the cases created within the last 6 months. So I know that there is a field here called created on, so I'm going to say created on last X months, and I'm just going to go ahead and put in there 6, so last 6 months, and I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Okay, so what do? We've chosen the name of the report, we've chosen the entity that the report's going to run on, and we put in the filter criteria. Lastly, what we need to do is tell the system what information we want to display within the reports. Now, the reports are set in columns. Think of like Excel spreadsheets where you'll have columns of information. That's exactly how the reports are produced within the CRM system. Okay, first thing we have here is something called grouping. Now, you could group the reports. You can group the data within a report by any field within the entity that the report is based on. So in other words, cases as our example, I could say let's base the information by customer, which is what I'm going to do. So I'll click here to add a group, and when I click here to add a group, the system says the record type is a case, which is correct. What column or what field would you like to use the group with? I don't want to use title, I want to use customer. I can put it in ascending or descending order. I could change the width of the column, and last but not least, I could tell the system whether I want a summary count of none, or summary type of none or count. Count basically means, as an example, if I click OK, say for example we had Outsourcery as a customer. In brackets it will say 5 cases, and then underneath it will list the 5 cases that belong to Outsourcery. This is what grouping does. It groups the information by customer, which is perfect for a report, because if I want to look at reports created within the last 6 months, I want to do it based on customers, so I could see which of our customers are creating more cases than others. You can add up to 3 different groupings just by clicking on the icon, but then obviously if you add another grouping, it will be a subgroup based on the main group, which is customer. Okay, so we've got our grouping in place, and all I want to do now is add the column. So I'm going to click on add column, and the first column I'm going to add is title of the case. So maybe I want to have the title in there, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Now you'll notice that the title is a long field within the CRM system. If you want to make the width of the column bigger, you could simply click on change properties and change the width to maybe 200. And it's just a case now of putting in what columns you want to see within the report. So maybe I want the title of the case, maybe I want the case number, so I'll put the case number in there. Maybe I also want the owner of the case, so I want to find out who's been working on these cases. So I'm going to put that in. I'm also going to put in, let me see, maybe the contract as well, see what contract this particular customer was on at the time, what level of support they had. And maybe also I want to know what their severity of the case was. Put that in and click OK. So we've put in our columns for this particular report and our grouping. Going to go ahead and hit next. Now at this stage the system wants to know, would you like to create a table or a chart and a table? Now you'll notice if I click on chart and table at the moment, it's grayed out. Now the reason why it's grayed out is because in order to create a chart within a report, one of the columns must be a number field or decimal field, but it must be of some numerical value in order to create a case. Because this report doesn't have any fields of numerical value, it wouldn't allow me to create a chart. I'm well aware that case number in this situation is not a numerical value because you can have characters in there as well. So I'll click next again, next one more time, and finally finish. Now if I was creating a chart with my report, the system would have allowed me to specify whether I want to create the chart on the same page as the report or on another page. But the report charts has not changed from CRM4. It's exactly the same charts that were created in CRM4 is the same thing that's created in CRM 2011. So I've clicked finish, and that's complete. Now it's taken us back to this screen. I just want to identify some other fields here. You'll notice related record type says cases. The system automatically populated that from the report wizard. And we also have where would you like the report to be displayed. Now it could be displayed in 3 places: the report area, which is this area of CRM here, the report area. You can display it within the listed records, the lists for related record types, and the forms for related record types. Now in order for me to show you what they are, I'm going to save and close, and I'm going to jump into the cases section of CRM, because what those 2 options are saying is, do you want this report to be available to run from within the cases section and from within an individual case? And that's exactly what we've done. We've ticked those 2 boxes. So we're in cases now. If I click on Run Report, you can see our cases there, case created in the last 6 months. And if I were to double click and open up a record and click on Run Report, you can see it's in there as well, case created in the last 6 months. So that's what those options within the reports are. Just go back in there again. The options are to show the report within the actual case form, show the report within the case area, and show the report within the reporting area. So the report has been created now. If we want to run the report, we can simply double click on the report. You'll notice the filter criteria here says created on the last 6 months. You still have an opportunity to change the filter criteria before you actually run the report. If you don't want to change any filter criteria, you can simply click on Run Report, and what the system will do is it will go away and it will show you all of those cases created. And as you can see here, here's a good example. We've got a store, and they've got 3 cases created within the last 6 months. Every report in CRM is dynamic, and what that means is that, well, for this example, we said cases created in the last 6 months. If we move on to next months, the data would change, because it dynamically updates to be the last 6 months depending on when the report is actually run. Also, within reports, you can actually click on a link. So as an example, title is the primary field for case entity, and because it is, you'll notice when I hover my mouse over the name of the case, I could actually click on that name and it opens up the case record. So it actually allows you to drill down from within the reports. Fantastic. Okay, so what did we cover? We covered creating reports from 3 different ways: from a link to a website, from an existing file, and from using the report wizard. Thank you for participating in this training session, and I hope it has been useful for you. Thank you.